right now we're learning new information about that officer-involved shooting here in Port Arthur last week, but find out why there's still so many unanswered questions. I'm Angel San Juan. A live report is straight ahead.
And as celebrations begin tonight on New Year's Eve, law enforcement officers across the country are ramping up security. What's happening here in Southeast Texas coming up.
And a rain chance will return, but not until after tomorrow.
Fox 4 News starts right now.
First at 5:30, the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office and the Texas Rangers now taking over the investigation of Friday's officer-involved shooting in Port Arthur. Fox 4's Angel San Juan sat in on a news conference this afternoon and joins us live from the Port Arthur Police Station. And Angel, what new information did we learn today? I know we learned a few new things.
That's right, Kimberly. In fact, the family of the man that the police officer shot was here at that news conference, and after the news conference, they had a private meeting with the police chief. Now, the brother of that man has identified him as 35-year-old Shane Lyons. Shane Lyons is the father of 5, and we're told a substitute teacher here at the Port Arthur Independent School District. Now, District Attorney Bob Wortham revealed that the investigation, when they took a pack of cigarettes that was in Lyons' pocket, they took it to a lab, and they learned that that cigarette pack was laced with the drug PCP. Now, that drug is known to cause violent behavior. Neither Wortham nor Chief Tim Durso said much else because they say it's a pending investigation. Durso did give us a basic narrative of what happened on Friday. He said Lyons was carrying a large weapon, but he did not identify what that weapon was. However, Lyons' brother told us it was a machete. Chief Durso says the officer told Lyons to drop the weapon several times, but he did not comply, and according to the chief, Lyons kept coming toward the officer. Chief Durso says, fearing for his safety, the officer fired several rounds from his service revolver at Lyons. Lyons died at the scene. Police have not identified the officer, but he is on paid leave tonight.
There is pretty much a protocol that, you know, if a situation happens, that the department puts him on paid leave. And that's for his protection, and also so that, you know, he can get his mind in order and feel good about the best he can about the situation.
Now, the DA tells us a grand jury will determine the officer's fate. When that grand jury will meet, well, we don't know right now. That will happen after the investigation is complete. Now, as far as Mr. Lyons' funeral arrangements, they are still pending. And tonight at 9 o'clock, you will hear more from family members and about their private conversation with the chief of police. We're live here in Port Arthur. Angel San Juan, Fox 4.
Angel, thank you for that update. We're also learning new details about 2 other shootings that happened in Port Arthur within hours of the officer-involved shooting. This one happened Friday night near the KFC on Highway 365. Today, police tell us 2 men were in a vehicle. They were arguing with someone in another vehicle, and at some point, shots were fired. The 2 in the first vehicle were both hit. They drove themselves to the hospital, and the injuries weren't life-threatening, and they're not going to press any charges. In another shooting, we learned what happened to an elderly man being targeted. Around 6:30 Friday night, an 81-year-old was shot in the shoulder at Legacy Senior Housing on Lake Arthur Drive. In an update today, police tell us he was walking from his apartment to his car when he was shot. Police say he was targeted because he was known to carry money. And get this, the man does have a license to carry, and he shot the suspects. Police are not sure if they were hit. The 81-year-old is expected to make a full recovery. Well, a man arrested in Seguin for an alleged threat against a church may have been targeting a church inviter. Tony Albert is now locked up with a $200,000 bond. Albert told Seguin police he was on his way to church to, quote, fulfill a prophecy. Vidor Police Chief Rod Carroll says police there contacted his department saying Albert made a threat against First Baptist Church in Vidor. Officers immediately contacted the pastor to make him aware of the threat. Chief Carroll says his department is working with police, the FBI, Texas Rangers, and ATF on the investigation. Happening tonight, more drivers on the road for New Year's Eve celebrations. And for the Texas Department of Public Safety, that means more patrolling. Fox 4's Quentin Hope joins us live in the studio with this story. Quentin.
Well, Kimberly, the New Year's is supposed to be a fun time to bring in the new year, but DPS and one mother want to warn others of consequences of drinking and getting behind the wheel. DPS says because of the amount of celebrations that will take place tonight, impaired driving is its #1 concern. According to TxDOT, between New Year's Eve and New Year's Day this time 2 years ago, Texas had 13 alcohol-related driving deaths. DPS says law enforcement will be on the lookout for drunk drivers and those who are not buckled up.
You'll notice there's a lot of construction going on, especially in Jefferson County. And those roads change. They're not like you're normally used to. So pay attention, and that means putting the cell phones down. Try to limit those distractions while you're driving.
Tonight at 9, a mother who lost a daughter due to drunk driving speaks to Fox 4. Her message to those tonight before getting behind the wheel.
All right, Quentin, thank you. Coming up, a little girl is shot dead in Houston, and many are left wondering why. What happened and who police are looking for tonight.
And remain on track for heavy rains Wednesday, Thursday, but at least that's not for New Year's. We'll take a look.